I'm going to solve three long division sums using the drag down method. Here's the sum here, 12,043 divided by 37. The first thing we would do is write it out as we would set out a short division using what some people call the bus shelter method. So I put 37s into 12,043. Now, we can work from left to right here as we would a short division sum, but actually I'm going to show you how to do the drag down method, working down the page. First thing I need to know is my multiples of 37, because you'll see that as I go across, I need to say how many 37s in whatever number. And so I've got my multiples ready from the previous video. So the first step I would do is list my multiples to the side of the page. I would then start working left to right. How many 37s in 1? 0. How many 37s in 12? 0. Some people may have carried the 1 across already from the 12. How many 37s in 120? Okay, so I can look at my multiples. How many 37s in 120? 37, 74, 111, 148. Okay, so I can get 3 37s in 120, but 148 crosses beyond that. So it's 3 lots. So what I do is I put my 3 there, 3 lots of 37. And for the drag down method, I do 3 37s are 111. So it worked out there. Okay, so I then need to perform a subtraction sum to work out how much I am carrying over. So 120 take away 111 is 9. I can do that just by counting upwards. And then what I would do is I would drag down this 4 and repeat the process. How many 37s in 94? Now at this point, this 9, if you were working left to right, you may have put the 9, you would have put the 9 in there to carry the remainder up to make it 94, and then look at how many 37s in 94. But using the drag down method, what we do is we use the subtraction here. Rather than trying to do the subtraction mentally, we're actually going to do it using a written method, working down the page, and 94 and 90, and then I drag my 4 down. So how many 37s in 94? Going to go back to my multiples. 2 37s are 74. A third multiple goes beyond into 111. So this is 2. So 2 37s. 2 times 37 is 74. And again, rather than try and solve it in my head, I'm now going to solve it by looking at what I've written on paper. 94 take away 74 is 20. And finally, I need to drag down my last number, which I'm dividing into 3, and I repeat the process. How many 37s in 203? So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the 6th multiple goes beyond, it's 222. So it's 5 37s are 185. So I put 5 here. I go 5 37s are 185. And again, rather than trying to subtract that in my head mentally to work out my remainder, I can actually have it written down, which makes it a lot easier to solve. And I'm going to count on, because it's 15 up to 200, and another 3 gives me 18. Now, because I've got nothing else to drag down here, that means that 18 is our remainder. So my answer, and I can put that up here, remainder 18. So my answer, which I'll present at the bottom, is 325 remainder 18. So 12,043 divided by 37 is 325 remainder 18. Next question, 1,652 divided by 28. This is from an actual Year 6 arithmetic SATs paper. And the interesting thing about these is that they always divide exactly into the number. So I'm not going to have any remainders. I know I'm going to get a whole number answer. Any of the SATs papers from 2016 onwards, these long division have always given me a whole number answer. So the first thing I would do is write it out using the bus shelter method as before. So 28 into 1,652. And the next thing I would do is I'd generate my list of multiples of 28 on the side. So from my previous video, I already have my multiples ready. And now I'm going to work from left to right as I usually would using short division. So 28 into 1, 0. 28s into 16? 0. How many 28s in 165? Okay, so I'll look here and I go, how many in 165? 1, 2, 3, 4, 28, 56, 84, 112, 140, and then it goes beyond 165 here. So this is the multiple I'm interested in, and this is 5 lots. 5 lots of 28 is 140. 6 lots is 168, which takes me too far beyond 165. So my answer is going to be 5 lots of 28. And what I do, it's like before, I'm going to write the 5 up there. 5 lots of 28 is 140. I write that underneath the sum there, like that. Now, in this point, you may have been trying to solve this in your head mentally and going 140 up to 165 is 25, and you could try and write your remainders in there, but it gets a bit messy then. So instead, with the drag down method, it just means that we write down our steps. So 165, now I count backwards, so I take away the 140 and count onwards. It's 20 up to 160 and 5, so that gives me 25. So rather than writing the 25 in there, I just subtract and write it underneath. I then drag down my 2, and I repeat the process. How many 28s in 252? Have a look. And because it's a SATs paper, I should be looking for a number that is a multiple of 28, because they always have whole number answers. And it is the 9th multiple. 9 28s are 252. So 9 times 28 is 252. And just to see it right the way through to the end, is I would then subtract the 252 to give me 0, which means I don't have a remainder. My remainder is 0. So that gives me a final answer of 1,652 divided by 28 is 59. Final sum, I'm doing 8,827 divided by 97. Again, it's from a Year 6 SATs paper. It's question 36, which means it was the final question. So set out the bus shelter method, 97s into 8,827. Prepare my multiples, my list of multiples, which I've done already. And I work from left to right. How many 97s in 8? 0. How many 97s in 88? 0. How many 97s in 882? So I need to go to my multiples list. The nearest number to 882 without crossing is 9 multiples, because the 10th multiple would be 970. So 9 lots of 97 is 873. That is the nearest multiple without crossing over beyond 882. So what I'm going to do, so I know it's 97, 194, 291, 388, 485, 582, 679, 776, 873. So that's the 9th multiple of 97. So 9 times 97 is 873. Like that. And then, rather than try and solve that in my head mentally to work out the remainder that I'm carrying over, I'm just going to have it written down so I can solve it whilst it's on paper. And again, I don't need to do any borrowing. I'm just going to count up. I can see 873, 7 up to 880, and 2, 9. So subtracting that just gives me 9. And finally, I drag down the 7. And how many 97s in 97? 1. Now, just to see it through to the end, 197 is 97, and I subtract that to show that I have a remainder of 0. So 8,827 divided by 97 is 91.